Good morning, children. Let's study today about the administration in the kingdoms during this period. How the kings administered or taken care of their kingdoms. We know that there were many Samantas becoming the powerful kings here. Samantas were the subordinates. They gained wealth and property or military strength. So they become powerful. Slowly they are establishing their own kingdom. Now these kings also, we know that they also had adopted many titles, different types of titles, which shows their power or the strength. Like Raja or Maharaja means the great king, or Maharaja Adhiraja. Okay, the kings or the king of the kings. Okay, Maharaja Adhiraja. This was one of the term they used during this period. That is the overlord, the king of kings, we can say. Also another term was used, Tribhuvana Chakravarti, the king or the emperor of the three worlds. Okay, so such kind of terms they used, Tribhuvana Chakravarti, which means the king of the three worlds, and also Maharaja Adhiraja, that means the king of kings or the overlords. So these all titles show their power and wealth, also how powerful the kings, which shows from their this type of titles. They claimed themselves they are the Maharaja Adhiraja. Also the Samantas, we know that they are slowly becoming more and more powerful and establishing kingdoms in different parts of India. How these people administered kingdoms, we know that there was many types of taxes. Now we are going the present day in the government, we are paying to the government many types of taxes. These kings also used to collect many taxes from different kinds of people. We know that they also had these kings also had got the help from their Samantas, and also from they collected different types of taxes from peasants, farmers, or traders, or also they got the associations help from the Brahmanas also. Okay, even they gifted to the Brahmanas largely, and it was one of the ritual, one of the practice considered the gifting to the Brahmanas large areas of land also, because Brahmanas gained a powerful position in the society during this period. In each state we can find out the resources were obtained from the producers, the kings also, all these Maharajas, etc. They collected many types of resources from the producers. Who are the producers? We know peasants, farmers. They cultivated many types of food grains from also some people were their cattle keepers. They means pastoralists were there. They had large number of cattle, and some sort of artisans also. They were making different types of hand products or handicrafts items. So these were the producers, and the rulers often persuaded or compelled them to surrender a part of their product. Whatever they produce, even the peasants, we know that farmers produce many types of agricultural products, or the artisans, they produce many types of handicrafts items. Also we know that cattle keepers are there. These or pastorals, they all had to surrender a part of their income. So whatever they produced, they had to gift the rulers some sort of products they produced. Okay, so whatever they manufactured, they had to produce or surrender or gift to the king. So that was the income of the ruler. Okay, sometimes they also claimed that rent they are paying. So not in cash, instead of cash, they had to, these farmers or cattle keepers were paying rent to the ruler, as the land belonged to the king or the kingdom. So that people had to pay something, a gift or whatever the produce, that may be in a kind, not cash. There were no cash system, So people used to pay the rent to the king. Revenue also was collected from the traders, those who are the businessmen, those who are coming from other countries or other kingdoms or trading in the their kingdom also had to pay some sort of revenue. We can say from the history, from many inscriptions or from the many books we studied, there are many hundred or 400 taxes were collected in many hundreds of taxes, different types of taxes collected in different kingdoms. In South India, especially in the Tamil Nadu region, the Chola rulers, they collected 400 different types of taxes. So the inscription of the Cholas revealed that there were 400, more than 400, not there 400, more than 400 tens of different kinds of taxes they collected. So most frequently we can mention one important type of tax which was called Vetti. Okay, in Tamil language it is called Vetti. And what is Vetti? It is a kind of tax, forced labor, not collecting in any kind. Okay, this is called a Vetti, is a forced labor, or another we can say Kadamai. Kadamai means the duty towards the king. Here Vetti is a kind of labor we need to work for the king without any payment. Okay, so that if there is any developmental works, construction of a road, laying the road, or construction of dams, or construction of canals, etc., or construction of the forts for the king, these are the works that people had to do without any payment. That was also considered an important tax people paid. Okay, not paying tax in cash or kind, people had to help in the development activities for the kingdom. So that was one of the important tax, important revenue, or in place of revenue or tax, they had forced the people to work for the king. Okay, and also we can say through the inscriptions or in the we find that there were many other taxes also. When they had a thatched house, the use of ladder to climb the palm tree for collects palm, and assess all the succession of family property, from family property when they are passing to the another generation also, they collected taxes. Okay, these were the different types of taxes they, especially the Chola rulers, collected. Okay, how these revenue or the taxes were used to finance the king's establishment, whatever the kings constructed, or the family expenditure of the royal family, family expenditure, or construction of temples and forts, etc., they utilized this revenue. Whatever the revenue collected from the people were utilized for the purpose of construction of temples or the forts, etc. They also were used to fight wars with this amount or with this property, and the revenue which they collected, they maintained army. And the kings also fought wars with the other regions, expecting the acquisition of wealth. Then when they used to war with conduct wars with the other kingdoms, they expected that they can acquire land, more and more land, and also they could achieve, or also they could capture from the by waging wars or battle with other regions. Also when they wage war, when they are succeeded, the kings used to plunder the wealth of the people in this region where the captured regions. Also sometimes they wage the war for getting the trade routes. We know that Silk Route existed here from China to European regions through the Indian territory. So trade routes also, when they are capturing these from these regions, they can collect revenue from the traders. That is also considered as a very good income for the kingdoms or kings. And also sometimes we know that the collecting large kind of revenues were recruited, some officials were recruited for that. collection of revenue was entrusted in some officers. So how the officers were appointed or functionaries were appointed by the kings? They appointed or recruited the officers from some powerful influential families like warrior chiefs or zemindars or landlords. They were appointed as the revenue collectors. Okay, so there sometimes these positions were hereditary. That means after the death of a father, the son or the children will take care of collection of revenue. So that was also hereditary, passing from the generation to generation, not appointment sometimes taking place. Also we can find out there was also army. In the case of army, when army chief dies, his son becomes the next army head. Like that, it was also hereditary. In many cases, we can find close relatives of the kings held these positions. The very close relatives or the members of the royal family became the administrative head or the military head or the revenue collectors, okay, etc. In the coming class, we will study about the precious and land grants, how the kings issued land grants to the people.